All right, so we have invested, Proton Tutoring has invested in a very good resource, and this is the BenQ RP series, okay? And this is for tutoring, so it does a lot. Now, I'll just take you through the basic functionalities, right? And so it came with these two pens. You notice these have different edges, right? One is thicker than the other. Now, at the back of each of these pens is the Nfc functionality. So what basically this does is that if I point the end of this towards this, it will open straight to a white screen. Now I could actually change the color. So if I go here, I could change it to, we could dim it, right? You could change it to all different colors, any kind of color that you want. I could make it black. And actually, you could actually make, if you're in music, if I want to teach music, I could use this to teach music. Well, I like soccer, so you could actually convert this into a sort of page. So basically, I'm sure most of these top teams have all these resources to help. You know, basketball and all the games that you want are all here, right? So that looks like a baseball, and this is American football and all that. But for me as a math teacher, or for us as math teachers, we'll just be focusing on the blank side of it. So basically, I'll just go back to a blank screen. Let me just give something that is a little darker. Now here, let me show you how these, so here you can, what I can do is, I could invite, right, students to join, and this is also a record button. So I'm going to be recording. And when you hit record, everything that we are doing now is being recorded, okay? Okay, nice. Now, here is a share button, and I could share whatever that I'm teaching with my students. So I could share a QR code, an email, or even print, right? And that's the save button, and that's the back button right there. All right, so those are the basic ones. Now, I'm going to show you how these work. Now, look at this. Now, if I hit this guy, it opens the pen that I can use here. So basically, I could write an equation. No, this is actually the pen. So if I hit that, so this is 2x plus 3 is equal to 5. Now, I want to let this look like it's been typed into the board. And basically, I'll just select that, and then I'll circle all these guys. All right, then I'll hit this guy. All right. See how that looks like. So now it looks cleaner than before, right? So that's a very cool functionality, and I really love it. Now, the other thing that I could do is that I could change, for instance, so two people could hold these pens. Each of them will choose different colors, and they will be writing on the board, and it has no effect. Once what one is writing has no effect on what the other is writing, okay? Nice. Now this is for painting, right? So I could actually use a brush. Now one cool thing is that if I want to clean this, I just need to rub this. Like I'm cleaning a traditional board, and everything wipes off. Isn't this cool? Nice. So that is that. Now this is the eraser basically. So if I write something, say I write an equation, I write 2x plus 3 is equal to say 10. All right, and I want to clean, I could decide to circle each of these, and it cleans everything. Okay, now here are some really cool features that I would like to show you. I'm just going to be selective on what I'll do here. Now, to do math, this is a very nice calculator that I want to show you how it works. I could stretch this and make it bigger. Okay, I could make this bigger. Come on. Right. So here, if I write, say, sine 30, and I hit equal sign, this guy gives me the answer right away. All right. If I hit sine 90 over sine 30, and I hit equal sign, it gives me the answer right there. Okay. Now, I'm sure you may be thinking, let me give you something that will give me an undefined. So if I have sine 30 over cos 90, this is equal to what? you know, we know cos 90 is 0, right? So every number divided by 0 give you undefined. So this guy tells you that there's a question mark. That means there's a problem with it. Now I'm going to give you something regular that we could do. So for instance, if I want to do 2 squared plus 3 cubed multiplied by, let me expand this, multiplied by 9 squared, and I hit equal sign, it gives me the answer right there. Okay, so really cool stuff over there. So it can do a lot, all right, and that's really cool. Now one thing that one other thing that I really like is the fact that it's for geometry. I've never been successful trying to draw a perfect circle or even a triangle. So for instance, if I do this guy, you know, I told you, so I'm trying to draw a triangle, but look at what I did. Now this device converts everything and makes it look nicer. Now I can export onto the whiteboard. So if I hit export, it goes to the whiteboard, and then this is how it looks like. Now I could reshape this to be smaller or bigger, all right? And I could demonstrate that to my students. So for instance, once I've done that, I could hit, okay, this is 2 centimeters, this is 3 centimeters, and say this is 5, all right? It looks much better than I did earlier, okay? So nice. Now, one other cool thing that I want to show you is that it has, so I'm going to rub this, but the shape will still remain unless I decide to exit out of it, okay? But let me continue. Now, one other cool thing that I really like is that I could split the board into, say, 3, all right? So look, now the board is split into 3. So I could invite 3 students to the board. Each would take 1 column, right? And then they'll be writing. So whatever I write here, so for instance, this is 3x, and another student will be writing somewhere here, okay? And these have no impact on the other. Somebody else could be writing here as well. Now I could give a question. So for instance, I could post a question, and the question will go to each of these. So for instance, if I go here and I type 4x plus 3 is equal to, say, 90, right? And I paste to all, this equation will show up on all the 3 boards. So students will have access to the same question at the same time. Okay, and then I could share with the students, right? I could save whichever form that I want to do it, and that works really perfect. Okay, with that, so they have QR codes, and I could share these to the students. All right, cool. Now let me go back, and then go back to the whiteboard. I want to exit out, so cancel. I'm going to cancel sharing. Okay, let me confirm. Good. Now I'm going to go back to the whiteboard again and show you some cool stuff here. Okay, where am I? So I won't save. I'll go back to the white screen. Now, one other thing that I would like to show you is that it has a very cool feature for randomization. So what the randomization does is that, for instance, if I assign my students, each of the students, a number, and I would want to invite some number of students to answer the question, what I would do is that I'll randomize it. So this is set to 3 people. Okay, so I'll randomize this. So let me do maybe between 4 and 93. So I'll start, all right, and then it randomizes. Okay, that means that the student with number 93 will come to the board, and the student with number 43 will come to the board, right? So randomization means that selecting a number of people without being biased. So nobody will tell me that I'm being biased for selecting somebody else, okay? So basically, these are the cool things that I really would want to show you. There's a stopwatch, all right, a timer, and then we have a stopwatch functionality, and a lot of cool features that are on here. So thank you guys for your time. And Proton Tutoring is here to do business, and we are ready to serve you and serve you well. From any part of the world, with this facility, we'll be able to serve you. Thank you.